masculinity in media is often portrayed in a light which illuminates it as a menacing and ominous presence among us. It is rare that we see such a thing highlighted in a positive remark within this era of what we can say or can't say or do. However, when a positive piece of media comes along, it is important to celebrate such a thing and to take in what masculinity means to others and what it means to us. In this video, I'll be focusing on masculinity in video games. This will be a future series to the channel, as I will be looking at other male characters in subsequent gaming franchises. To start off this series, there is one character I want to focus on in particular. That character being the God of War himself, Kratos. Before diving in, I'll be looking at masculinity under 5 aspects: frame, purpose, leadership, strength, and assertiveness. I believe that these are some of the key components in terms of the M word. Now, I have no idea if I can say this word too much, if this ever becomes popular. I don't want to become demonetized. So let's just put it there, guys. Let's just put it there. You know, and with that being said, let's go. A frame is this unspoken acceptance of one person's authority, and the other person is going to follow along with it. Rollo Tomasi. For most of the game, I say a solid 99% of it, Kratos holds frame excellently in front of others. He knows how to handle himself and does not allow others to sway him in his decisions. However, there are times where suggestions which may aid them in their journey, and Atreus proves to do so. Although hesitant at times, Kratos agrees to let Atreus lead. I find it smart that Kratos acts skeptical in trusting others. With the lore behind Kratos in relation to his past experiences with the Greek gods and to what he believes of the Norse gods, it makes sense that he has that level of skepticism. I won't blame him, he's been killed a few times. What can he say? Been there, done that with my ex-girlfriend. Anyways, due to Kratos' stature and intimidating demeanor, others recognize that they should not question his authority. Kratos does what he believes is right, and Atreus goes along with it. That is until Atreus realizes that he is part God and becomes a little silly, arrogant boy. Even with this under Kratos' frame, Atreus must get them out of Helheim, as that is the consequence to his actions. Atreus follows along with it, becoming wiser in the process. There are very few instances where we see Kratos out of frame, and these instances offer glimpses to his vulnerable side. One instance of this being at the beginning of the game after the fight with Baldur, or also known as the Stranger. He calls out to his late wife as to what he should do. Here we learn that we cannot always hold frame, as we are human. We can feel lost and unsure. Men are strong, but there are times when we are alone, we question ourselves and our course of action. That slight loss of frame does not deter Kratos when it comes to such an important thing: his purpose. When it comes to masculine energy, ambition, breaking through barriers, and more importantly, purpose come to mind. Kratos has a deep sense of purpose in God of War, and it permeates throughout the story. The central objective in the game is to scatter your wife's ashes from the highest peak in Midgard. Now, exploration is a key factor when it comes to God of War, Although Atreus comments that exploring is perhaps getting them off track, Kratos keeps frame and states, "We are finding better equipment for our journey, boy." Relating that to a more personal level, to achieve our purpose, we have to do things on the side, such as upskilling, improving our health, improving skills that will help us in other areas to get to where we want to be. But I digress. To the ordinary man, a blockade such as this would sway the person into the decision of giving up. Yet, Kratos and the boy do not. Kratos, along with Atreus, are so deep in their purpose that there is no danger, big or small, that will stop them. They kill a dragon, journey to hell itself, even flip the world tree upside down for God's sake, just to get to where they want to be. That is dedication. In terms of purpose, I think the most admirable thing is Kratos facing his past mid-game. This is perhaps the make or break point for him. For anyone who is trying to grow as a person, knows that dealing with what you have done in the past can be a daunting task. We do not like to remind ourselves of what we have done or who we were. Kratos breaks through this barrier by accepting that what he has done in the past does not define him who he is now. In saving his son, does Kratos not only grow as a character, but that his purpose would mean nothing if his son were not by his side. Kratos' purpose and Atreus' purpose are one and the same, and Kratos could not bear to lose another loved one. The things parents do for their kids, huh? Kratos is as strong as my mother when she yields the wooden spoon of discipline to punish me for going against family tradition and being a man. Kratos shows amazing feats of strength, such as slapping boulder through wall, carrying boy on back when climbing walls, and even flicking over Tyr's temple into the latter half of the game. Man, that is heavy. 9 universes could be flicked, yet I could not flick the bean of my ex-girlfriend because she was too tired. More than that, Kratos shows fantastic mental strength too throughout the majority of the game. Even when faced with challenges such as facing trolls, fighting Big Dragon, and even so far as being strong to keep Atreus safe. I think his mental strength is shown brilliantly when he must retrieve the Blades of Chaos before venturing into Helheim. As far as I'm concerned, a whole heap of gamers are well aware of Kratos' past. The hardships he went through, the lives he has slain, and everything else in between. Having to revisit your past, which was filled with such horrors, to save your future, is no easy feat. That takes some strength. Although Kratos mentions throughout Dead of Boy that he would rather let the past die, it catches up with him. As mentioned in the purpose portion of this video, having the mental capacity to deal with your demons and move on is extremely respectable. Even as humans, no matter how hard we try, we cannot escape the past until we deal with it head on. That is when growth happens. That is strength. Assertiveness means standing up for your personal rights, expressing thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in direct, honest, and appropriate ways.
What are you doing? Now his guard is up. Only fire!
Although Kratos is assertive, his assertiveness is a lot more aggressive in the beginning stages of the story. A key example of this is Kratos losing his sugar honey iced tea to Boy as he screws up in hunting a deer. As the story progresses, we see the axe wielding beast become a lot calmer. When something does not sit well with the big man himself, he's not afraid to admit it, even openly admitting to his son to be weary and on guard. Kratos' assertiveness, respectful or otherwise, is something his son confides in. The boy asks whether situations are safe to be in, such as trusting Freya or following his father's commands. Kratos is a natural born leader. This very fact has been known since the established lore of the God of War series. Kratos communicates with others by being directly blunt with them. There's no beating around the bush, he gets straight to it. In his communication, he illustrates important life lessons through story and dry wit. One that stands out the most is the story of the tortoise and the hare, which ends as quick as it begun. Now, Jane, if you're listening to this, I apologize if I ended as quick as I begun 5 years ago. I still think about it to this day. Kratos is one to always hold his values true to himself and often discusses his values with his son. For example, to be weary of others if you do not know them. And also when learning to be proficient with a bow and arrow, that speed can sacrifice accuracy. Judging from the events of the game, Kratos has a high sense of accountability. He is one to believe that your actions have consequences, and this is highlighted especially when Atreus, Kratos and Baldur end up in Helheim. Kratos explicitly tells Atreus that because he got them into this mess, he is the one to get them out of it. I think the most notable sense of accountability takes place in perhaps one of the most pivotal scenes in the game. Spoiler alert here, I'm throwing a spoiler. If you want to know, play the game, come back, listen to the rest of it. The God of War himself reveals the truth to Atreus. The truth being Atreus is part God. I want to discuss this scene a bit more, as Kratos demonstrates great leadership in this scene due to the following reasons. Number 1. Kratos takes accountability for keeping a secret away from his son, which may have ultimately doomed Atreus. Number 2. Kratos offers us a sense of humility and takes it on the chin. Kratos thought that revealing the truth to his son may lead him, Atreus, to resenting his father. Yet, the first question the boy asks is, can I turn into an animal? Which bewilders Kratos. Number 3. Kratos discussing with Atreus that they have a choice to be the god they want to be. They have a choice how to use their powers. Great power comes with great responsibility. Think of Uncle Ben's rice. Accountability and responsibility go hand in hand with men who are leaders. Although it takes Kratos some amount of time to take reins in giving the truth to the boy, he eventually does it. Taking accountability and undergoing an arduous journey leads him to accept himself, but more importantly, to be free from himself. He has nothing to hide anymore, and thus, he can tackle the bigger things coming his way. I hope this video essay sheds some light on masculinity as portrayed in video games. Kratos has traits which we can use to develop our own character. If you had not played this game, well, get the fuck out here and play it, because this game is so good. I love it. I put it off for so long, but it's such a good game. Oh my god. That's all there is to this video. Now, this video will be the first in a series of videos on masculinity in gaming, as aforementioned. If you have any male characters you want me to focus on in future videos, hit me up in the comments, but not my DMs. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, take care, God bless, and be better.